And that's always such a good feeling, right? I mean, you see your opponent roll like a high number, and you're like, ah man, and then you roll the dice and you just
Yeah.
beat it.
Does he have a play? Does Parisian have a play in his hand? That's the question now.
That's a very good question, and it looks like he does.
There he has
We
it.
see my new favorite card, Dracotail Mululu.
Yeah, such a good card. Probably activating its effect. Emily considering if she want to use something. It doesn't look like she does though. And here we will go and fuse away the Mululu and the Urgula from hand to summon a fusion monster. And I assume it's Ertalion, right? Yes, there it is.
You are correct.
The Dracotail, our Phalion, which will be able to add us back one card, which is likely the Mululu. And yes, it is. Which will be going back to our hand. And we also trigger the Mululu and the Urgula to set ourselves 2 cards. And now, even though it didn't look super good, now we get both our Dracotail spells. Kind of out of nowhere, I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, these effects are just so strong to just, whenever you fuse them off, to just set cards from your deck. And I mean, we see here now Kito and Rahu set. And I gotta say, I just love the design of these cards. Like, just fusion decks are just something that is very dear to my heart, I guess. And having a card that lets you search your deck for any of your engine monsters, and then also fuse if your opponent controls something,
Absolutely.
I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
And yeah, we see 5 mana added to our hand.
Yeah, which I think is a bit... which I'm a bit curious. And yeah, we ash the Rahu Dracotail. Some people call it the branded fusion of the Dracotail deck. And yeah, that one we will negate here, which is, I think, a very good point. And I was a bit surprised Parisian went for... no. Of course, we normal summoned already. I was thinking about Lucius, but no, of course, we normal summoned already. Therefore, adding the 5 mana, especially with the Urgula already in graveyard, we will be able to add it back. And now we use the 5 mana to fusion summon with the Pan and... Is it just the Aphelion? Or do we
Probably
have...
just the Aphelion.
Yeah. Thought maybe we have like a Shadow monster probably in hand, which would have been very good. But it doesn't look like it, and therefore we will just go for a Gulamel. And now we can trigger, of course, the Pawn.
Exactly. Now, I think what's also very cool is the fact that Aphelion gets to summon himself back. However, not right now, because he was not in graveyard yet, as the monsters were sent to the graveyard. But I just think it's so cool that both of the fusion monsters just get to come back to the board whenever it happens.
But it looks like we only can get one trap, and he chose the Flame to get the spell trap negate. Do you think that's the right choice, or do you think it would have been better to take the bounce?
So, I mean, it also only negates spells, not even traps. It doesn't come up that much, but I think it's still a fair point, because there's a lot of spells in the format that you can deal with.
Yep.
And I feel like if you go for the other trap, yes, it bounces a monster, but only a monster in attack position.
Yep.
And if you know it's there, you just kind of summon everything in defense position until you can answer it.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I can get behind that. Yeah, we used the Urgula, put it under the deck at the bottom to add back the 5 mana from the graveyard. And now Emily is considering, and yes, she is using the Izuna here. And that's quite good here, because Parisian already went through all his interrupts, I would have said, like all his combo potential.
But we have an Ash Blossom.
I have the Ash Blossom, because he could have she could have gone for the Nash Knight to suck up the Gulamel, which then wouldn't even be in the graveyard. But Ash Blossom and Joy Spring here, very good card to stop all the Izuna shenanigans, but she stays on the field.
I mean, I just have to say, like, the K9 cards, though, are so good against Dracotail, simply because due to the nature of Dracotail, they're always going to activate something in hand or in graveyard.
There is the reinforcement of the army. Do you just negate it with Flame? Yes.
I'm pretty sure you do. I mean, if you're a Parisian at this point, you're thinking, okay, this is Vanquish Soul K9, so I'm just not going to let you get Raisin. Right?
I'm still thinking it's Vanquish Soul K9 from what I see, but we got some more information, so let's see. What does Emily do? There is the normal summon of Rescue Ace Hydrant. And both players laughing, because Parisian was like, okay, I definitely need to read that one.
Now, my question is, when you negated that reinforcement of the army, wouldn't you just, like, use Gulamel also to destroy Izuna?
You could, but that Izuna right now doesn't really do a lot, so you can also just keep it on the field and keep the Gulamel pop for another point, especially now. And we ash the Rescue as Hydrant. That's a big disadvantage if you Izuna in your opponent's turn, that your opponent can ash again in his turn and your turn. So 2 Ash Blossoms used to stop Emily, even though the card is once per turn, but we have the emergency here.
Now my question is, I understand seeing Hydrant being able to search and saying, I don't want this to happen.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is not that much at this point that it could have added that might have been quite as annoying as now getting hit with the emergency, right? I mean, you could have. Let's think the hydrant resolves, like maybe you could
prevent a maximum problem.
Yeah. It's just
okay, and now we are going for the 5 mana, chaining the Gulamel to pop the rescue as hydrant.
Yeah, this makes sense. That way, in case Emily doesn't have another rescue ace card in hand, Emily will just have to tribute whatever is summoned.
The question is, can she for emergency tribute to Izuna?
No, I believe you have to tribute a rescue ace card, no?
Could be. I'll check that.
Yes. Meanwhile, we see emergency being resolved, and the turbulence is just summoned and immediately tributed.
Okay, yeah, no, fair enough. Then that's a very good thing for Presian then here, because that turbulence in the graveyard not really doing a lot.
Yeah, and now Presian also has some effects that you can use. I mean, that's the strength, right? You have like so many effects right now that trigger. You have Mululu triggering. You have also the fusion monster reborning itself. You can bounce the Izuna, which probably you don't want.
There we see them. Emily probably going first, I assume. Presian will have all his going second tools in the deck now. So
I always love this one moment at the start of the match where both players assess their hands, or at the start of a game where both players assess their hands and
Emily
just take it all in, you know? Like, I think it's so important because there's some players that just like kind of draw their cards, see their first star and go like, oh yeah, boom. And then sometimes you just don't really want to do that. So I think it's always nice when you see players like take a moment to really double check like, okay, this is my options. This is probably the best for me right here. And we do see Airlifter resolve here. Yeah,
there's one interesting thing about the Rescue deck now, that the decks that play in your turn, if they play like on your field or so, you can like chain the Airlifter and summon one from the hand, which is like interesting because back in the days that wasn't like really that important that interaction go first, and now we use the emergency trying to get the turbulence, but there is Ash, Blossom, and Joyous Spring.
And Drone and Lockbird was also used after the Airlifter, so that's just really devastating. I mean,
it doesn't look good for Emily. Probably does she have to pass, or does she have a she has
that looks like a pass turn.
And Presian draws, and I think he drew a Kido, which is so good here. We are reading the Airlifter, of course, because as we said,
it does have an effect.
It does have an effect in our turn. The question is, what does Emily have in her hand that can stop Presian?
Whoa. And we start with the normal sum. Yes.
The normal sum of Lucius,
which is just anything.
Yeah,
anything you want. Yeah.
It's like a very, very good start. The normal summon of the deck. I think in Emily's hand we see the big issue of the deck. She drew the Hydrant and the Airlift, and you can only normal summon one monster. Yeah. So, very unfortunate for her.
Presian does go for Pan.
Yeah.
So, probably already has everything else he needs in hand. And yeah, we see on Resolution a Drone Lockbird.
Yeah, we have our own Drone Lockbird, but that's not as critical for Presian, I think.
Because now we just use 5 mana.
Yeah, because the deck is just setting the stuff, not immediately searching. Therefore, really well playing around the Drone and Lockbird. We go for the Arphelion.
It does still beat Kitu, though.
Yeah, fair enough. Kitu is stopped, but I mean, if one deck has enough to do afterwards, it's still probably the Dracotail deck.
Yeah, I mean, you still have Rahu.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've used the Pan and the Lucius away, triggering both of them. Seems like, I mean, it doesn't really matter how we order the chain links, because like the Airlifter, even if it would activate itself, Pan does not target, therefore would still destroy the monster that would be summoned by Airlifter.
Yeah, I mean, there's no way we're activating a fusion monster right here to bounce the Airlifter, since we can just destroy it anyway.
Yeah, I think we rather bounce our own Ash from the graveyard.
Yeah.
Or the Drone Lockbird from the graveyard, one of those two. Likely though the Ash Blossom, because that card is just like so good against the Rescuers deck on the emergency, on all different, like the Airlifter, you can Ash it. I don't know if you want to. You could Ash in this situation the Hydrant if Emily gets Iron, and we just destroy the Airlifter, now setting out 2 cards.
And we see Flame set again.
Yeah, Flame and Rahu, I think. The question is, does Presian have enough to go for game here? He uses the Rahu Dracotail. No Ash Blossom from Emily. We're fusing away the 5 mana with Urgula. Just a Gulamel, I assume.
Probably. I mean, it's a strong board, you know. You get Gulamel, you get a lot of damage, though
Yep.
not enough if it's only this
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
not 8,000 points of damage here. So Emily still having a chance.
But you do get both of your traps set.
But what did we attack with our Valiant? Did we not use it? I didn't see.
We might have not used it.
That might be costly. Let's see. Maybe Prisian has a plan. Rahu Dracotail also locking us into, I think, Fusion Dragons now.
Yes.
Oh no, just Fusions, not Fusion Dragons. Oh, it is, of course, it's the Secretarion Dragon, which is now will be able to summon one back from the grave. Oh no, it's Gulamel. no, we read again. Rahu Dracotail needs to summon Dracotail.
Rahu has to summon a Dracotail.
Yeah, absolutely, because that would have been, honestly, that would have been devastating if he would have been able to summon the Secretarion Dragon here.
Yeah, because that just summons another one from the
Graveyard,
graveyard, and then I think it's already enough.
To be fair,
However, not to be.
Yeah, we also didn't have Mululu in graveyard, which is mainly the card you want to summon back with the Secretarion Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, is it locked to levels?
I don't think so.
No, because then you could also just summon Urgula. And
Yeah, for game. Yeah, definitely. That would have been game. But it's not, and we just go for the battle phase, and Emily will get another turn. The question, though, is there's 3 set cards where we know it's both Dracotail tracks. There's a Gulamel on the field, and probably we'll add back the Fimena as well.
And I'll tell you a little secret here.
Yeah.
That Dracotail Horn is a pretty good card against Hydrant.
Isn't it just special summon?
I'm not sure, actually.
Isn't Horn special summon?
No, it's just one attack position monster on the field.
Then that is quite good, yeah. Then you're right. So let's see. Emily drawing for turn. Okay, we need to cut the deck before. Fair enough.
Yeah.
And then she will draw probably her last card if it's not good. Is it something playable is the question. We normally summon the Hydrant. Activating Fire Engine.
That does work because it triggers whenever
Exactly.
whenever a Rescue Ace monster is summoned.
Exactly. Now, if Prisian summons a monster for specials and monsters in general, I think Emily will be able to summon one from deck. It is.
Yeah. However, I'm not sure that this is enough yet.
Okay, let's see Prisian. Very heads up from Prisian, knowing or at least reading that the Hydrant has targeting protection whenever another Rescue Ace is on the field. Just like prevent the bounce.
You mean like Rescue Ace Preventer?
Yeah, he is preventing.
Yes. No, it makes sense because otherwise if...
Ooh, and there is Sidahita, the Fire Channeler, which is actually a card we don't see very often. It's like, I think by discarding one of a fire monster, we can just like add a fire monster with, what is it? I think 1500 or more attack? I think it's something around that way. Let's see what she will search, or if Prisian has an answer for the Hita. Now he would really like to have the Ash Blossom that's in the graveyard right now, because that Hita would have been is a -1 in fact. But if you get the card you're looking for, it's probably worth it.
I mean, the thing is, so first of all, Hita can actually add any fire monster with higher attack than the one you discarded.
Oh, okay. I mean,
which,
more than zero.
Yeah,
more than zero.
More than 0. So any fire monster in the game.
Yeah.
Which, yeah.
It is the, you have already called for it, it's the Rescue Ace Preventer.
Which of course gets you back your Hydrant.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, if we get to the point, but I think it's rather, maybe it's even getting back the Airlift I was thinking about.
That also works.
To like get the emergency on summon. To not like run into stuff like Gulamel or Felion in combination. To like pop the second Rescue Ace monster and so, but I mean in the end it's the same, because if we need to tribute with emergency the own monster, it doesn't make a difference. So we are rather banishing the Hydrant. Also to mention, getting like the Book of Moon effect here, because we have the Fire Engine on field, which would deal with the Gulamel quite well.
Yeah, because you can literally just wait until any Dracotail effect is activated,
Exactly.
and then you don't even necessarily have to Book of Moon the Gulamel. I mean, you probably still want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
therefore we use a Fimena, because you said it already. We are playing around it and using Gulamel, but there's the Impulse being chained to Gulamel.
And that is very strong, because Impulse can now summon any machine.
Yeah, I mean any Rescue Ace machine.
Yeah.
And I assume we will be getting the Airlifter here, right?
No, just Turbulence, right?
Oh, Turbulence is also a good card.
Yeah,
Turbulence is
probably better.
Yeah, Turbulence is also not a bad card. I thought maybe we want to go for the Airlifter, but I mean, it will be bounced regardless. Or we summon the Hydrant so that Arthelion cannot bounce it. Is that maybe a play? I mean, we definitely don't go Airlifter because there is a Flame set.
Yeah.
So please don't go for the Airlifter. Don't listen to me. And it's actually Hydrant. Yeah. Because that one cannot be targeted by the... And there is the Mysterion, which we definitely gotta read here, because that card is actually quite powerful, because it is like removal that I think banishes almost with the same... I think it's type, honestly. Because that card is very, very strong. It's a bit more rare. It has some occasions where it comes, somewhere it doesn't come.
So basically it triggers when a monster is summoned by card effect.
Okay. Which does
activated effect by a monster actually, and then you can banish one monster plus everything with the same original type. But it doesn't trigger now, right? Because it didn't see...
It does trigger on the Preventer, I think. Because the Preventer was... I think Preventer, I think we chained Famir to Preventer, didn't we?
Does it trigger though, even though it wasn't on field when the effect was activated?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. I think the judge will know. Because I don't, apparently. I think it doesn't need to, but I'm not very sure here. So we'll check that. And it... Oh, we just use a Preventer now to book it. Okay, good thing. And there is now Rescue Ace Hydrant being activated. I don't know if President really planned it that way. That Mysterion comes on the field and it's immediately booked. Kinda looks a bit wasted to me, honestly, the 4 mana.
Yeah, it does not seem like that was the way it was meant to go down in Presian's head.
Yeah.
However, now the Turbulence is surged.
Yeah.
Which, if this gets to stick on the field,
yeah,
that's a big swing. That
really
will be great for Emily because, as we talked about before, this card being able to set 4 cards or up to 4 cards.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just game changing.
Definitely 100%. The only thing we gotta keep in mind is that a spell card right now, if Emily uses it, it's like counterproductive for her because Presian will then finally get the chance to use his Flame.
Yeah.
Also, I think the Dracotail fusions, they trigger whenever 2 monsters leave the field at the same time. So Link Summon would also make them trigger here.
Yeah.
Which you should keep in mind.
However, I mean, yeah, they come back. They're big.
Yeah.
But they use their effect.
Did Gulamel use her effect yet? I mean,
yeah.
I don't think we have a way to trigger it, but...
No, I believe the...
Fire Engine, true. Fire Engine left the field. Yeah, you're right. Probably just waiting for our turn. The question is, does Emily have a way to get rid of the Rahu in the back row? And there is in fact an Ash Blossom and Joy Spring in the graveyard of Presian, therefore Heater being able to summon it.
Yeah, and I think now it really hurts Presian that he did not add back with Athelion earlier.
Yeah,
because, I mean, again, I'm saying prevent so much, but a lot of this could have been prevented with an Ash Blossom.
I mean, yeah, Ash Blossom on how's it called, on the Impulse would have been crazy.
Yes.
The question is there any way we can probably trigger the Pawn here? For Presian, that would be great, but I don't think it is. I think the Pawn to trigger needs to be any card destroyed. I think it is. So if we run over the Mysterion, it could come back, I think. Or summon back the Lucius, rather.
Yeah. No, that's possible.
Yeah, so does Emily have a way to maybe prevent it? No Preventer anymore, though, because she summoned it already, but now there it will come, the Rescue Ace Turbulence.
Yeah, and it's... I mean, again, if this resolves, it's going to be very difficult for Presian to come back here.
Oh, there's the Nibiru, the Primal Being, on the summon of the Rescue Ace Turbulence.
It's also important to remember the face-down monster stays on the board.
Yeah, actually, the face-down monster does stay on the board. Because the Mysterion, it was set, so Nibiru only tributing face-up monster. Emily therefore having her opponent. And now we summon back both the Dracotail monsters from our graveyard. And that is a lot of damage on the field already now.
Yeah, this is just... Yeah, this has always been the problem of Rescue Ace, which is why a very common line for the deck was to make an SP Little Knight. Because once the Turbulence is on the board, you really don't want to get Nibiru'd on that.
You want to hear a funny thing?
Yeah.
If Emily played Herald of the Arclight, she could have prevented it because we had Ash and Hydrant on the field.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She doesn't. She doesn't have the space in the extra deck, I can tell you.
Yeah.
But that would have been like a next level 1000 EQ play. And there is key to Dracotail. We chain the Gulamel.
Yeah, which means we're back in Presian. Chaining the Gulamel means though that we don't get the Fusion Sun, right? but
Yep,
it's probably not
but
that important.
we don't
I mean,
care.
there is more than enough damage on board already.
Emily only being on 2,200 life points. Presian flip summons the Mysterion going into the battle phase, and